The fictional town of Silent Hill is abandoned, derelict, and seems to have an ever-present eerie fog that hides disfigured, demonic creatures. But when it came to bringing the town to life, did they use their imagination to create the creepy ambience needed, or was there real-life inspiration to be found? Hey there, dissectors. Today we're going to delve into the murky waters of destruction, conspiracy theories and hauntings of a town in Pennsylvania that movie screenwriter Roger Avery used as his inspiration for bringing Silent Hill to life, and its name is Centralia. If you are crazy enough to enter this town, you'll find cracked roads, bleached trees and ground that in certain locations is so hot you can light a match from touching it, with temperatures reaching 180 degrees Fahrenheit as reported in 1979. And while all this destruction litters the town, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide and methane consistently leak from beneath the ground. Signs litter Centralia, informing you of the deadly danger ahead. Signs like walking or driving in this area could result in serious injury or death. Dangerous gases are present, and grounds are prone to sudden collapse. The closer you get to the city, the worse the conditions become, and travellers can find themselves in serious danger of suffocation with random spurts of smoke and gas. Let's just say you'd need a gas mask to visit here. So what happened to cause the town of Centralia to literally fall off the map? Well, in 1962, a freak fire broke out at a local landfill, which some people think was set deliberately. The fire then dropped through an opening in the ground, igniting the highly flammable anthracite coal in the mine below. To make matters worse, this was the worst type of coal to be hit with fire, as it burns very hot and longer than other types, and Centralia holds the largest portion of the world's supply. So since at least May 27th, 1962, this fire has raged beneath the ground, with the Smithsonian claiming that it has been growing at a rate of approximately 75 feet a year, going in 4 different directions, with claims that it could burn for another 250 years. In 1980, the population of Centralia was 2,761, but as of 2021, that number is down to 4. But due to the living conditions, I'm surprised anyone lives there at all. The only building that seems unscathed is the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary Church, which may seem familiar in appearance if you have watched the movie. The church still holds services and has a weekly congregation of around 50 people. But one question seems hot on everyone's lips, and that is, what has prevented the fire being put out? Many residents of Centralia couldn't understand why the fire was allowed to get out of control, and thought that maybe the government or some private corporation had something to do with the start of the fire, due to the multi-billion-dollar deposit of anthracite coal underground. The government didn't seem to intervene with the fire until Valentine's Day in 1981, when a 12-year-old boy nearly died when a sinkhole spewing hot steam suddenly opened up in front of him. Many residents thought that the methods used to fight the fire were purposefully ineffective and was a ruse to get them to leave their homes, leaving the land up for grabs. Plenty was done to relocate people too, as $40 million was allocated for this purpose by Congress in 1984. When this didn't work, Pennsylvania state began to condemn properties, and the US Postal Service removed their zip code of 17927. Of course, you did have plenty of businesses offering to dig out the fire, but not out of the goodness of their hearts. They wanted the rights to the coal that only the town could give. When people were forced from their homes, the government was said to tear the house down immediately, covering the ground with plants to make it seem that no property had ever been there. And while the government was accused of incompetence and holding back funds they claimed not to have, one resident called Tom Larkin thought they wanted the fire to grow to become unstoppable. He said, "This fire got this big by design. Every time they were ready to pull it out, they mysteriously ran out of money. I'm not naive enough to believe that the United States government does not have the money to put this fire out. Government lies through its teeth. I don't trust government, and I have good reason not to. Because for years, government lied to us in Centralia. They lied to us." Is there any proof that these claims are true? Well, apparently the Pennsylvania Department of Health denied in the press that residents of Centralia may suffer from any kind of health problems, even withholding information on how unsafe carbon monoxide is. There were never enough carbon monoxide meters handed out to households either, with residents having to share. Some people even got creative and purchased canaries as an indicator of the deadly gases seeping into their homes. But the most frightening thing to know is that officials claimed there were no dangerous levels of carbon monoxide detected, but maybe that was because the dangerous level was a point beyond what the indicators were able to pick up anyway. One woman reported that when she complained to the officials, they told her that her readings were due to smoking in her basement, yet she didn't smoke, as well as from running her car in the garage, but she didn't have a car. But there are arguments that the government wasn't involved too. For starters, it would be really difficult to conspire to do this, as since the fire there have been numerous US presidents and governors who would have picked up on any conspiracy. Also, the type of coal the town has was declining in the market, and if the government wanted the coal for themselves, why let it continue burning, as who really gains anything from that? It is of no value burnt up. You can imagine how creepy the atmosphere is in Centralia, with the vast emptiness, damaged grounds and eerie fog that is everywhere. But people who have ventured here over the years have stated there is more to the town, which adds to how disturbing it all is. Many feel it's haunted. A man named Scott Saylor visited with some friends and had this to say. We found a slag-covered hillside with steam coming out of it and were pretty fascinated by some fossils we found, when we heard what sounded like a voice saying something inaudible from down below where we were. All three of us heard it. We figured it was someone else checking out the area too, so we sort of ignored it. Then we heard it again, a little more clearly. A few words and it sort of sounded like, "Leave this place." That sounds like a pretty good piece of advice to me. Another visitor to the town called Ruth Edison in 1998 claimed that her and a friend witnessed two people emerge from a large smoky hole in the ground wearing mining helmets before suddenly disappearing before their eyes. Locals joked that if you died here, you could get a burial and a cremation all at the same time for no extra cost. And with there being more dead people than alive, it does add to the paranormal rumours that surround the place. So dissectors, what do we think about the real Silent Hill town of Centralia? Do you think the government or large corporations were involved in setting the fire? Do you feel that more could have been done to prevent the spread? Or could it be that it was an accident which had severe consequences that may last hundreds of years? I'm not sure, to be honest, though it seems more likely that it may have just been a terribly tragic accident. I say that because no one has gained anything in all these years from what occurred, as obtaining any of the coal is a serious no-go. Sometimes it may seem that life is going against us and we often want to blame someone for that. Whether it was a conspiracy or not, this tragedy is heartbreaking and made worse by the fact Centralia has been deleted from all maps, almost like it never existed. One saving point, I guess, is at least the town is not overrun with monsters out for blood. I hope this video finds you well, my friends, and as always, stay safe out there.